Hey guys, Creator Mom. Happy Tuesday. I was thinking today about how, I went to start my coffee pot. And usually when I get my coffee, I say thank you. I don't know, because I'm weird like that. I like showing gratitude to everything that I use. Like it's an actual, it's an object, and every object is, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying. So I say thank you to my coffee pot when I get coffee to show gratitude, like I said, or thank you to God, whatever. Thank you, basically. Thank you for this coffee, or thank you for this car, or thank you for whatever. Um, but then I thought, it just occurred to me right now as I was about to say thank you, and then I was like, it dropped on me, it dawned on me about taking things for granted, and I thought, I think we're supposed to be able to take things for granted in a healthy way. Meaning, like, you don't have to walk around saying thank you for everything because you're afraid it's going to get taken away from you at some point. Like, oh, I'm afraid. I don't want to take things for granted. Um, lest I lose those things, right? My coffee's super good too. But honestly, I think we're supposed to be able to live without the fear of losing things. Um, so it's just like, at the root of it, we're afraid. Oh God, what if I lose this? I'm not going to take this for granted. And I'm going to show that I'm not taking this for granted by continually saying thank you. Growing up, and even more so, I feel like that's what a narcissistic parent wants. They want, especially an altruistic one, um, they want you to show your gratitude towards them. And you're always making sure to be like, thank you. Anybody who does anything for you, you're just like, oh, thank you so much. You really want to make sure that they know that you're thankful. And it's weird because it's not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing to say, hey, thanks, thanks for that. I appreciate that. But I guess it's just about, you're the only one who knows inside of you where your leaping pad is from. Is it, oh wow, thank you. Oh, I don't want that person to feel like I'm taking them for granted. I don't want them to feel like I don't appreciate them, lest they think I'm a bad person, lest they think I'm ungrateful, lest they think I'm selfish, right? I want to stay in gratitude for my car and my things, lest they get taken away from me or break down. I think that we should be able to take things for granted in a healthy, trustful way, kind of like a 3-year-old, like a toddler. Nobody says, oh, wow, your toddler's a bitch. They're ungrateful. Look at them. You feed them every day. They don't even say thank you to you. Like, no. We know the toddler is, just innocent and going about his business. And it's not trying to be a bad person, right? It's just being who it is. So, and of course, we're not toddlers, duh. We're more mentally developed and everything, obviously, but the idea is that you're coming from this place where you're afraid this person is going to think you're a bad person if you don't really express how thankful you are that what they've done. And that just comes from that unhealthy dynamic with the narcissistic parent, where they're always calling you selfish or like criticizing your choices and literally making you feel like a bad person. So and we should be able to walk around knowing, like, hey, if my car breaks down or if my coffee maker stops working, like, I'll get a new one. There will be a new one. More will come, right? That's the mindset of a child not in lack, or in a child into a grown adult that doesn't have a lack mindset, that sees God as abundance, and God is always providing for me. Yeah, if that broke down or if I ran into a problem, of course there's going to be some type of solution for me, of course. That's like a healthy, and I think that might be also a healthy sense of entitlement. It's an inner place. And I think that we're so afraid because of the accusations of taking things for granted and being seen as, bad people, that we walk around with like a fear, that fear. So that's the thing. And I made a video about this a long time ago, how our thankfulness can come out of actually fear, that it's really just fear, fear of whatever. So, I really come to realize how much fear lingers around in my life. It's crazy, fear, just fear. But it's good that I notice it and observe it, because then it's like, okay, yeah, I can, now that I see it, I can overcome it. I can do therapy on myself about it. So yeah. And then the fear of driving, not the fear of driving itself, because I drive plenty. It's just this, like I said, it's my theory that my psyche or whatever is expressing this fear of loss of control in life, while driving. And yes, driving is crazy, and the physical part of driving, like just the reality that, hey, there's all these cars on the road with you and they're going 80 miles an hour, and yeah, that's scary, that's crazy. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but I feel like it's not particularly those things that are bringing up this panic or anxiety. This is just like an internal thing. It's just like, for some reason, the place where it wants to express itself. Like, hey, you have an internal fear of losing control, or fear of everything falling apart, a fear of everything, of maybe things going wrong. And we're going to show you that you have this fear while you're driving on the highway. It's going to surface here so that you can realize it and deal with it, right? Because I think that driving is an activity where, things can happen. So it's kind of just like using that activity to say, oh, look, you have this fear, Yeah, that's what I think. Because like I said, it is not the road. It doesn't make sense, you see, because I never had a fear of driving on the highway. It's not the highway, even though the highway can be scary, but it's not the highway. It's this feeling inside of me that wants to manifest. And not just on the highway, it's come up other times just randomly. But when you're not driving, it's way easier to handle or cope with these sensations. But when you're driving, it's like, oh, damn it. Jesus. So anyways, yeah. I am going to overcome that, and I am overcoming that. And one of my affirmations is, I am free from the fear of losing control. I could probably come up with a better one that's not in the negative, but that's what's working, I guess, for right now. Yeah. And just realizing that, hey, whatever situations it is that's in the back of my mind that I'm afraid of, I am more than capable of handling those situations when they arrive. When and if, because fear, false evidence appearing real, most likely the things that you're fearing, usually I have found that my mind is making a way bigger deal of it than it really is. So now that I've realized that, I'm like, okay, we're doing it again. Like, we're catastrophizing events before they've even happened. And then I say to myself, if that should ever occur, you know what I mean? I will be able to handle that situation when it comes. And also the grace of God will be so more than sufficient to meet me in that challenge, you know? So anyways, here's to overcoming, everyone, and have a wonderful Tuesday.